Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has acknowledged that a deadly airstrike on the southern Gaza city of Rafah was a tragic mishap as Israel faces increasing international pressure over its war with Hamas.
하마스와 전쟁을 벌이고 있는 이스라엘의 국제사회 압박이 가중되는 상황에서 베냐민 네타냐후 이스라엘 총리는 사상자가 나온 가자지구 남부 라파의 난민촌 공습이 비극적 실수였음을 시인했습니다. Tell us more.
Right. So the prime minister has acknowledged that this tragic mishap was made as the Israeli strike was made in the southern Gaza city of Rafah. The attack was made Sunday night local time. It set fire to a camp housing displaced Palestinians. Officials say it has killed at least 45. And this is according to the Gaza Health Ministry and the Palestinian Red Crescent Rescue Service. The ministry said that the dead included at least 12 women, 8 children, and 3 older adults, with another 3 bodies burned beyond recognition. So the Israeli prime minister did not elaborate on the error, but Israel's military initially had said that it carried out a precise airstrike on a Hamas compound, killing 2 senior militants. So as details of the strike and fire emerged, the military said that it had opened an investigation into the deaths of the civilians.
네, 그렇습니다. 자, 공습이 있었어요. 이스라엘에서 가자지구로 공습, 영어로 airstrike라고 합니다. 그 airstrike로 인해 많은 사상자가 나왔는데요. 영어로는 the airstrike resulted in many casualties. 그러니까 사망자와 부상자를 합친 게 바로 casualties가 될 텐데 deaths만 놓고 봤을 때도 상당히 많습니다. 45 you said at least,
Yeah.
and they include women and children as well.
Yeah.
그래요. 자, 그래서 이스라엘 측에서 이번 공습에 대해서 실수였다. 비극적 실수였다라고 인정을 했습니다. 시인했어요. 이 표현들을 보도록 하겠습니다. Let's first of all look at acknowledging something.
Right. When you acknowledge something, you accept or admit the existence, or in this case, the truth of something.
acknowledge가 뭔가 시인하거나 인정할 때 쓰는 표현입니다. 자, 그 다음에 비극적 실수였습니다라고 네타냐후 총리가 얘기를 했는데 실수라는 말을 이제 영어 그 외신 기사들에 보면은 여러 표현이 나오긴 해요. mistake라는 표현도 쓸 수 있지만 이 단어도 씁니다. mishap.
Mishap, right. So it's an unlucky accident or an unpredictable outcome that is unfortunate.
자, mishap 이렇게 씁니다. 그래서 mishap라는 게 그 안 좋은 사고라는 의미도 있지만 여기서는 어떤 실수의 의미로 볼 수 있을 것 같고요. 실제로는 이제 영어로 이걸 인터뷰를 한 게 아니기 때문에 번역하는 과정에서 다양하게 번역이 되고 있습니다만 a tragic mishap, a tragic mistake, a tragic error 등등등 여러 가지 표현으로 외신에서 보도가 되고 있습니다. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has acknowledged that a deadly airstrike on the southern Gaza city of Rafah was a tragic mishap as Israel faces increasing international pressure over its war with Hamas. Now let's move on to the next headline.
New York City hotel rooms are averaging over $300 a night as many hotels exclusively house migrants, reducing supply during a tourism boom and propelling the nightly cost of an average room to record levels.
뉴욕의 많은 호텔들이 이민자 전용 쉼터로 쓰이자 관광 성수기의 객실 공급이 줄어들어 평균 1박 요금이 기록적인 수준으로 치솟으면서 현재 뉴욕시 호텔의 하루 숙박 요금이 평균 $300를 넘어서는 것으로 나타났습니다. So in Korean won, that would be around 40만 원.
Yeah.
평균입니다.
Very expensive.
굉장히 비싸졌어요. Tell us
Right.
more.
So what happened was thousands of migrants began to arrive in New York back in 2022, and they were put in hotels that were still struggling to recover from the pandemic-driven downturn in tourism because no one was traveling during that time. So these dozens of hotels, they basically closed to tourists and began exclusively sheltering these migrants. They struck deals with the city,
Right.
and they say that about 135 of the city's roughly 680 hotels entered this shelter program. So about 65,000 migrants are currently being sheltered in these hotels or tent dormitories and other shelters because of the city's legal obligation to provide a bed to anyone who needs one. So now, 2 years in, tourism is booming. People
Right.
are returning to the city, and there are no hotel rooms.
Exactly.
So this is driving up the price, as we mentioned, to an average of about over $300 per night, and they say that that's up 8.5% from back in 2022.
Sometimes I still find it hard to believe that the 3 years has passed where, a couple of years ago we were talking about how the tourism industry was really just going
Yeah,
downhill.
yeah.
And hotels, accommodation, depending on the region, but they weren't really getting a lot of guests and tourists. But now things are so different.
Yeah, they've
as you
bounced
said.
back.
Yeah, there's a tourism boom, as you said. And yet, in New York City, there's not enough hotel rooms.
Yeah.
A lot of tourists, they want to stay at the hotels, but because some of the hotels are exclusively housing migrants, they don't have enough rooms. That means the ones that are available are going to be very pricey. Let's look at exclusively.
Right. So exclusively, another word that could replace this is only or solely. So it's in a way limited to a single person. It could be a single group or category or method.
Right. exclusively 뭐뭐뭐 하다 그러면은 뭐뭐 전용, 오로지 누구만 할 수 있다. 이런 의미로 보시면 될 것 같은데요. 뉴욕에 있는 몇몇 호텔들이 지금 현재는 마이그런트들, 이민자들만 쓸 수 있는 그런 시설로 쓰이고 있어요. 이민자 전용 쉼터. So they are exclusively housing, that's a verb, migrants. 그러다 보니까 일반 관광객들이 쓸 수 있는 호텔 방들의 이제 숫자가 그만큼 부족하고 그래서 가격은 천정부지로 오르고 있는 겁니다. The lack of rooms is propelling the prices.
Right. So propelling, think about a propeller. So, when the propeller's going, when it's turning, it kind of causes something to move in a particular direction. So in our article, it means to push up or drive up.
그렇죠. 프로펠러를 써서 이렇게 움직이게 하는 것처럼 무언가를 몰고 갈 때 propelling 한다라고 합니다. 그래서 현재 방 부족 사태가 가격을 올라가도록 몰고 간다. 이런 의미가 되겠습니다. Here's the headline again. New York City hotel rooms are averaging over $300 a night, as many hotels exclusively house migrants, reducing supply during a tourism boom and propelling the nightly cost of an average room to record levels. Now let's check our final headline.
The Colombian government has started exploring a sunken 18th century Spanish galleon dubbed the Holy Grail of Shipwrecks, which was laden with gold, silver, and emeralds, estimated to be worth billions of dollars.
수십억 달러 가치로 보이는 금과 은 그리고 에메랄드가 실려 있어 그간 난파선계의 성배로 불려온 18세기 스페인 보물선에 가라앉은 잔해에 대해 콜롬비아 정부가 탐사 작업을 개시했습니다. First of all, tell us about this, and we'll get into the details about how it's not necessarily Colombia who has the rights to this. But first of all, tell us,
Yeah, so as you mentioned, this ship, the ownership of this ship remains contested.
Right.
Yes, and it was carrying one of the largest hauls of valuables ever lost at sea when it was attacked just outside of the Colombian city of Cartagena by the British Royal Navy back in 1708. So as we mentioned, it's estimated to be laden with as much much as $20 billion in treasure. And at the time, they say this vessel had been transporting its precious cargo to the Spanish king to help pay for its war against the British. That's why its ownership remains contested, because everyone who is kind of affiliated says that they have a piece in this.
Right.
So they're saying there's been a long-standing legal dispute over who owns the contents of
Exactly.
this ship.
Yeah.
The U.S. salvage company Sea Search Armada is one of the parties laying claim to it. Spain has laid claim to it because they were
a Spanish galleon,
Yeah, they
yeah.
were transporting cargo to the Spanish
Right.
king. And of course, it was found in the Colombia, or it was found outside of Colombia, so they're also claiming ownership to it as well. So Colombia has declared the waters near that area a protected archaeological area. So the first stage of this research project, they said they're not going to excavate anything, but they're just going to send in underwater robots to check what's there, to inform academic studies, and then they'll see what they can do afterwards.
자, 1708년이었습니다. 이 배가 가라앉았던 것이. 근데 사실은 이제 스페인의 그런 그 대형 범선이에요. 갈리언이라고 하는데, 그러다 보니까 스페인은 우리 거다. 우리가 가서 그 보물이 있는지 탐사를 해야 된다라고 하고 있지만, 이게 가라앉은 지역이요.
Yeah.
콜롬비아의 해저였습니다. 그러니까 콜롬비아는 아니다. 우리 바다에
It's in
있는
our
거니까
territory.
우리 거다.
Yeah.
이렇게 얘기를 하고 있어서 그래서 지금 몇백 년 동안 계속 이 누가 가서 탐사를 과연 해도 되는 것이냐 가지고 여전히 지금 뭐 결론이 나지 않고 있어요.
Yeah.
그렇지만 이제 콜롬비아 정부가 우리는 탐사를 시작하겠다라고 발표를 한 겁니다. 이 범선의 이름은 산호세이고요. 대형 범선인데 영어로 galleon이라고 하죠. Tell us about this.
Yeah, a galleon is a sailing ship in use, especially by Spain from the 15th through 17th centuries, originally as a warship, but later for trade.
갈리언이라는 게 구체적으로 15세기에서 17세기에 사용됐던 스페인의 대형 범선을 말합니다. 그래서 뭐 boat, ship 이런 말을 쓰지 않고 Spanish galleon이라고 얘기를 하고 있어요. 그런데 여기에 정말 많은 보물이 실려 있었대요. 그러다 보니까 닉네임이 바로 난파선계의 성배, the Holy Grail of Shipwrecks라고 합니다.
Yeah. If you are, or if something is the holy grail of something, it's something that everyone is looking for.
Yeah.
It's a thing that's eagerly pursued or sought after, something that people want and are looking for, but is extremely difficult to find or get.
Absolutely. 너무나 얻고 싶지만 손에 넣기 힘든 진귀한 것을 성배, Holy Grail이라고 말합니다. 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. The Colombian government has started exploring a sunken 18th century Spanish galleon dubbed the Holy Grail of Shipwrecks, which was laden with gold, silver, and emeralds, estimated to be worth billions of dollars. And that's it for the headlines.